Joshua 23. I read from the Institute for Scripture Research, the ISR, because it takes a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Greek to English, and Aramaic to English. This is the second last chapter before Judges, and Yehoshua is the son of Yahweh, the one who died on a stake for the sins of all of humanity more than 2,000 years ago. And the letter J is barely 600 years old. And Yehoshua in English is Joshua. And Yah is the Elohim of the heavens and the earth, the first and the last and the only. And he is a very jealous El. He doesn't even want the names of idols or mighty ones to come to our lips. And the first is in, he was the first to appear, and there was nothing else. He created the heavens and the earth and all that is on it. And the only is in, man just created a bunch of things and then just started worshiping. They're not really a mighty one. They have no power. They're useless. So the only. And the last is in when he comes, or when he sends his son, who's going to have a flaming sword that comes out of his mouth with the flames of the heavens. No nation will be spared. Trust me, he will be the last. People will give up on a little statue of Buddha or Hindus or whatever they call them, little statue things. They'll give up on them when they realize they're not doing anything to stop them, to stop this from happening. And the Bible also says that no nation will be spared, so it's gonna be like that. Joshua 23. And it came to be a long time after Yah had given rest to Israel from all their enemies round about, that Yehoshua was old, advanced in years, and Yehoshua called for all Israel and for their elders, and for their heads, and for their judges, and for their officers, and said to them, I am old, advanced in years, and you have seen all that Yah your Elohim has done to all these nations because of you. For Yah your Elohim is he who has fought for you. See, I have divided to you by lot these nations that remain, and in an inheritance for your tribes from the Jordan, with all the nations that I have cut off as far as the great sea toward the setting of the sun. Okay, so a nation is just like, the Perizzites and the Hivites, they were in the same continent, but they were a different group of people, and each group of people was a nation. And Yah your Elohim thrust them out from before you, and shall drive them out from before you, and you shall possess their land as Yah your Elohim has promised you, and you shall be very strong to guard and to do all that is written in the book of the Torah of Moshe, so as not to turn aside from the right or left, or so as not to go in among these nations, these who remain among you, and make no mention of the name of their mighty ones, nor swear by them, nor serve them, nor bow down to them. And make no mention of the name of their mighty ones. Remember, we were just talking about this before in the beginning. This is the second time it tells us not to even let the names of idols or mighty ones to come to our lips, nor swear by them, nor serve them, nor bow down to them. But cling to Yah your Elohim, cling to Yahweh your Elohim as you have done to this day. For Yahweh has driven out from before you great and strong nations. As for you, no one has stood against you to this day. One man of you put 1,000 to flight. For Yah your Elohim is he who is fighting for you, and as he has promised you, and you shall diligently guard yourselves to love Yahweh your Elohim. But if you do turn back at all and cling to the remnants of these nations, these that remain among you, and intermarry with them and go into them, which is to have sex with them, and they to you, know for certain that Yah your Elohim shall no longer drive these nations out from before you, and they shall be snares and traps to you, and a whip on your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until you perish from this good land which Yah your Elohim has given you. And see, this day I am going the way of all the earth, and you know in all your hearts and in all your beings that not one word has failed of all the good words which Yah your Elohim spoke concerning you. All of it has come to you, and not one word of them has failed. And it shall be that as every good word has come upon you, which Yah your Elohim promised you, so Yah does bring upon you every evil word until he has destroyed you from this good land which Yah your Elohim has given you. When you transgress the covenant of Yah your Elohim which he commanded you, and shall go and serve other mighty ones and bow down to them, and the displeasure of Yah shall burn against you, and you shall perish quickly from the good land which he has given you. I don't know how many times it's got to say, follow my commands, follow my right rulings, follow my laws, and love me at the utmost. And to love him is to do what he says. And if he says take care of people, you take care of people. You don't do what Israel's currently doing and trying to take away all of Palestine, take away all their rights, take away all their guns, tell them that they're terrorists. Anything that's anti-American is a terrorist in the eyes of America, even though they literally just kill, steal, and destroy. That is all America does. And that's all Israel does so far nowadays, is just kill, steal, and destroy. They worship their idols. After reading the Bible, there's studies you can do like along the way into it to find out like what actually happened to Israel after the Bible times and stuff like that. And Yah allowed it to be completely destroyed like 3 times. It was insane. I'm pretty sure one of the times was actually in the Bible, 1 or 2 times maybe actually in the Bible, and then two or 3 times outside of the Bible. It's insane. And they didn't listen. And now look at us nowadays. All over the world, we're exactly like Israel. The tribes of Israel, the foolish nations of the world, and we are all foolish nations of all the world. Anyways, Yah loves you.